Trenton 365 with Jacques Howard. Profiling the businesses, organizations, and people that make Trenton better.
You know what the easy thing that's already set up?
Yeah, really.
Everybody, welcome to the Trenton 365 show. I'm your host, Jacques Howard. You're listening over WIMG 1300. You're watching over WPHY Channel 25 in Mercer County, New Jersey. You can follow me on social media, Trenton 365, and on Facebook, the Trenton 365 show. There's a lot of activity, a lot of buzz going on in the studio tonight. The next hour, I have living legends. I got Show Tyme Brooks in the studio right now. He's Instagram live, he's live streaming, he's doing a bunch of different things. We're going to be talking about his music. And then later on, we've got Kim Miller from Instant Funk in the house as well. And they've got a lot of wonderful things happening with original music happening here in the region as well and abroad. So without any further ado, Showtime, it's about time I was able to get you in the studio. I know you've been very busy. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. What's up, Trenton? What's up, vicinity? What's up, world? How y'all doing out there, man?
There we go.
Jacques Howard, we're in the building.
So here's one of the things I want to initially get started with talking about is you've got this new project. You've been strategically releasing cuts over the last couple of weeks or 6-8 weeks or whatever.
Right.
Let's talk about your new music. What's going on with that? And I want you to know that I'm really feeling the latest video.
Thank you.
So anyway, I want to encourage people to go on your YouTube page or on your website,
right,
and see it for themselves. But at the same time, really get the essence of what you're trying to do with your music. Can you just talk about that a bit?
Well, like you said, man, I got a new album out called Show Tyme, Love Truth. Man, it came out digitally June 15th, and it actually will be out physically this Friday,
yes,
August 3rd. Yes, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, HMV, Barnes and Nobles. I seen it online. So yeah, man, it just like, really trying to bring back, not so much bring back, but just trying to show my part of soul music, man. Over the years, that's pretty much what I'm doing, man, and just pretty much giving my branch to the tree of soul music, this soul music thing, man, because it's been a long time coming, and I felt like before it wasn't the time yet, a lot of time it was worth, me just taking, the road I took, singing background, sitting behind people, working with the greats, working with the legends, learning a whole bunch of stuff. And then when it was my turn, I'll be ready. You know what I mean? So now I'm ready. And the Show Tyme Love Truth thing is it. That's what it is right now, man. Like you said, y'all go get that album, man. Show Tyme Love Truth. We starting early.
So here's the thing I want to know about the idea of the R&B. I mean, there's a lot of artists who consider themselves R&B or soul singers now, but there's not the same kind of flow and essence with what you're putting out. And yours is reminiscent of when, and I'm a little older than you are, but reminiscent of like the late 60s, early 70s funk, R&B, soul. Like there was a bit more than just, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that. Right. It's much more of an emotion. It's almost like a journey, a love story.
Right.
Is that, I know that's part of who you are, but I want you to explain that to the audience.
What I did was with this particular album, man, I felt like it was more of a feeling album. So I wanted everything to have feeling. So I took some, different life experiences, and I took some experiences from other people that I heard in life, and I just like took my pen and I took a band in the studio, and I went in and I wanted to create what people were saying was like, they kept saying it's old school, and I was like, no, it's not old school because it happened today, so it can't be old school. Like I just did it yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it can't be old school, it's new school, So I just wanted to make people know that horns and drums and keyboards and percussion is still cool. Like, it's still cool. It's like, it's not old school, it's music. And I wanted to like express that through my music, and I wanted people to be able to feel it. Hear those horns, hear those organs, like hear the stretch of a person sitting down at a Hammond B3, or hear a person blow a real trombone, to encourage kids when they hear the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I hear trombones, I hear saxophones, I hear trumpets, stuff that we don't hear no more now. Today's music, it's in black music, you know what I mean, in black music. So I wanted to get back to the essence. That was my whole thing. I wanted to really get back, and I wanted to delve into the essence of what this thing we call soul music, and what the things that helped cultivate this thing, you know what I mean? And I wanted to be on the forefront of this next phase because it's coming back.
And I think you nailed it. And I think you nailed it, not only in the music and the feel of it, but how the songs, they take you through something. It's not a matter of, okay, well, here's like, a lyric and then we're transcending to like something that's poppy and feely.
Right.
And we're going back and forth. It's very much like for lack of a words, and I apologize for even like using any particular person, but it's so soulful in message. It's like a Marvin Gaye-esque behind it. Wow. Meaning like it's literally, if you sit and you listen, it takes you through this whole journey. And I think that a lot of current music, I think artists are writing to get record deals or writing to get airplay,
right,
and not actually speaking what they're really feeling from the heart. So you've been doing this for a very long time, since you were a young person.
Yeah.
So do you think that has a lot to do with it, like the maturity?
Yeah, I think what it is that, realizing what works for you, being able to decipher between, if you need to be doing Chris Brown records or if you need to be doing Trey Songz records, or do you need to be doing Show Tyme records? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I felt like, with this project, like I produced the whole project, I wrote the whole project. So I felt like couldn't nobody really tell my story the way I could tell it. You know what I mean? So I think that after I went in the studio and I, transcended those feelings onto record. You know what I mean? I mean, it was really so. It got so crazy till we were on reel to reel with it. Like we were like, yo, I need you to go get the reel to reel. Like this is how we need to record. We need to record it like 1960. You know what I mean? For each song, and like you said, each song takes you on a journey. You know what I mean? A journey of it's a cohesiveness. That's why it's called Show Tyme Love Truth, because it's a storyline. It's almost cinematic. You know what I mean? It's virtually kind of cinematic.
So as an artist, are you throwing some hints out there that this is going to be your next project is going to be like a full length movie or something? You got something else out there that you're hinting at?
Hey man, no man. I'm hoping, I'm praying, man. If Tyler Perry picked me up, I want Ava DuVernay. I wanted this to feel very cinematic. I wanted the album to feel very cinematic because I wanted people to know that these were real feelings. You know what I mean? And the way that you get across real feelings sometimes is be able to write it so they can see it. Like if I can write it so you can see it, then I'm doing my job. Almost like a rapper, how rappers write. Some of your best rappers are great storytellers. Your greatest rappers are storytellers. And, with me working with different rappers, working with Pharoah Monch, working with Big Daddy Kane, working with Guru and M.O.P. and all them different artists like that, I learned how to tell stories. You know what I mean? And then working with Casey and JoJo and Music Soul Child and Donnell and Case and Kelly and all these different artists, I learned the presence of what a hit record sound like. You know what I mean? And what a record should sound like. Even if it's not a hit, what a record should sound like, So I took that on. So
and I want to stick with that a little bit. Some of the artists that you've performed with and that you've worked with, there's this whole idea, this whole branding, this whole presence, and you got it. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man.
Like it's who people are seeing on TV and hearing on the radio now. This is obviously a lifestyle. When we spoke on the phone a couple of times, it resonated through the phone as well. So this isn't something that you're just putting on.
Right.
But in your videos, again, back to the term that you use, it's cinematic. It's very obvious that you're thinking about a lot more of the process than just, hey, I'm an artist, I'm a performer, I'm going to act out this song. Right. Can you just take us through that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking in my head is like, when, with this particular project, I took on everything, meaning that I was the label, I was the producer, I was the writer, I was I took on everything. And with taking on everything, I had to kind of be more, hands-on. So everything counted. So like it was like, okay, the video has to look like this. You know what I mean? The band has to sound like this. You know what I mean? On some James Brown. Honestly, I swear, with this particular project, I took a page out of James Brown's book.
Okay.
You know, Mr. Dynamite, where he was like, you know, James Brown was like, listen, this is the way that it needs to be, and let the people judge it. You know, don't you judge it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my cubbyhole, I'm going to come out my cubbyhole with something, and when I come out, rather you're going to either like it or you may not like it. You know what I'm saying? From that angle, and thank God, man. Like it just like it came out like it did. You know what I mean? It came out like it did, and it's just a blessing, man. It's a blessing, bro.
So when we talk about that kind of a commitment, I mean, it's obvious that like through a faith journey, you knew this is what I have to do. So if you're with me, you're with me, and if you're not, okay, later. So
Right.
what was the realization point where it clicked that you said, I got it? Like, I'm ready to pour this out and I'm ready to reveal my soul.
I was I had it's crazy because I had I polled a bunch of musicians for like a year. Like I was prepared to do what I had already had the deal. I had already had the record deal. I had already had the distribution situation, but I didn't have a record. But I had all my business straight. You know what I'm saying? and I was like, you know, talking it up to people, you know, and I was getting different types of feedback from people. Not too much of what I wanted, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, all right. So then eventually one day I was talking to my partner, and he was like, where's the album? And I was like, okay, give me a month. Give me 3 weeks. I'll be back to you. And I went and I called the guys that responded the way that I wanted them to respond, and went in the studio, man, and just knocked it out. 12. I did actually the way I did it, I did 12 days, 6 hours a day, for 12 days, just like that. And I finished the album. We finished the album, mixed, mastered, cut, wrote, leads, background, everything in those 12 days.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what you have now, Show Tyme, Love Truth.
Yeah, now Show Tyme, Love Truth, like you said, so you did this in 12-hour days in 6 days. Oh, 6 12-hour days.
Well, wait, let me explain this. Okay, so I did an album with Big Daddy Kane. We did the first album had got scrapped. So Kane was like, yo, man, we need to go back in the studio and finish this album up. So he did 6 12-hour days. So that's how we finished the album. So I was like, okay, I don't have the money to do 6 12-hour days, but I can do 12 6-hour days.
Got
you know what I mean? So I did it, man, and just figured it out, man, and got in there and knocked it out, man. Got the shout out to all the musicians that worked on the album, man. Donald Bolden, right here from Trenton. David Watson, who was another guitar player that plays here in Trenton. Shout out to Azel Dixon. Shout out to my man Shannon Woodall. Shout out to Rick Frederick, who mixed the album. Shout out to my label War Media, Colvane Records. Shout out to Jermaine. I see you out there, man. Shout out to my man Ray. All my friends that helped me with this project, man. My mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? Just like being there. Shout out to my cousin Steve, Smith Family Foundation in the building. We out here. You know what I mean?
Now, we've got a couple minutes before we're up on the first break.
Okay.
I like to ask artists when everything's clicking and they're able to do a full album or a full movie in such a short amount of time. I liken it to like when Jordan would say that he was in a zone. Is the same feeling for you?
Yeah, I like it's crazy. I felt like it was that moment. It was in that moment that was supposed to happen. Like it couldn't happen at no other moment. Honestly, it was like the soul gods were with me during that time. Like when I was moving around and making those records, man. Like, honest to God, what you hear on that album is all one takes. The leads are all one take. Those are the first takes of the album. That's how much God was in the mix of that. Like when I went back to like do the record, and my boy was like, "Yo, we're gonna take all the first takes." That was it. Those are the ones. And I was like, wow. I just get chills thinking about it now, because he was like, "Yo, man, the first take is it. Each song, Come On Home to Me, that was the first take. That was the first. What you hear right now was the one take. Was one take."
We got to get to this break real quick. I got Show Tyme in the studio, and we're talking about his latest release. It's going to be dropping as a physical album on Friday, all different platforms, online, in stores, etc. Show Tyme, Love Truth. We'll be back after a short break. You're listening and watching the Trenton 365 show.
Yo, what up, yo?
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-763-9166. 800-763-9166. 800-763-9166.
Welcome back to the Trenton 365 show. In the studio with me is Show Tyme Brooks, and it's a shame that we only have a short amount of time, but he's going to come back, and we're going to make sure that we can do everything we can with Trenton 365 to support all of his efforts. But his new full physical album drops on Friday, Show Tyme, Love Truths, and you'll be able to hear that as I play it on some of the other outlets that I have. And we've been talking a lot about the actual process.
We can't play it. Oh no, just joking.
We might be able to work something out like that.
Just joking.
We'll talk to the powers that be here, but if not, you'll definitely be able to hear it on one of the other Trenton 365 shows out there, folks. But so I want to kind of take it through all this. I mean, you touched a bit on this is soul music. And you made it a point to not say going back, because this is what's happening right now. And I think a lot of times artists do that. Like they get pigeonholed and think, oh, well, I'm not of this time period. I'm doing stuff that's like from my inspirations.
Right. Yeah, no, I felt like we had to be present.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's why the records have like a boom bap to it. Like, have you noticed that?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Like the records have a boom bap still. Like, even though they feel a certain way, but like, it's like, why is this record making me feel like this? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the elements of the now. I was like, yo, I need to, I need my rap. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that I did with my rappers, I need that to come out now.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So that I know how to, so the songs, they feel like samples and they feel like certain things, but it's really instrumentation, you know what I mean? So that's what makes it, that's what made it, that's what I love about it. That's one of the things that I do love about it. When I listen to it, it has that boom bap still. And I'm like, I think I might got something here.
And I think if it didn't have that, it would be easy for people, especially older, to say, "Oh, that's from it's from '64. I know that artist."
Right,
but
right.
But when they hear it now, I think they're like, "Wait a minute,
right?
That's not from there." Earlier you mentioned Big Daddy Kane,
mm-hmm.
and when you did your album with Kane, there was a video that you guys did where you were both in the black and the white,
mm-hmm.
and that also had that kind of like '60s kind of feel to it as well. Mm-hmm. Do you think that that's like kind of part of your essence, like your true calling?
Yeah, I think what it is that, man, when you embrace a sound, when you embrace a sound, because I produced that record too for that album. I produced and wrote that song. Shout out to Big Daddy Kane. In The Last Supper, I Believe in Love Again was that first single, and what it was that particular group was a ode to the 60s and 70s. So that was like actually the essence of what that was. But what I find is it's only old school when we do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When Sam Smith does it, it's not old school, it's just a soul record. But when Show Tyme does it, or when Anthony Hamilton does it, or when Johnny Gill does it, mm-hmm. it's an old school record. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to be careful that's why I'm very careful not to label this music old school. Mm-hmm. So when people speak of it, it's like, oh, it's new soul. It's like this, it's a different approach, because you can't really label it that, because I'm talking about all different types of stuff, and I'm talking about the now. I'm talking about things that's going on in your life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody left you yesterday and you want them to come home now, you don't want them to come home in 1960. You want them to come home in 2018 right now. You know what I'm saying? So that was important to bridge the gap between, and I think that with us as with this type of music, there's a gap. You know what I'm saying, of understanding. Like there's a gap that happened, and I'm trying to be a bridge to it. So it's like, you know what? It's cool. You can still be cool and sing.
You know, and I want you to stick with that, because I think that we as a culture are moving to where people are much more inclusive and thinking diversely, saying, hey, you know, I like this particular fashion, or I like this particular style. But I think that we haven't caught up with that, like with our art that we respect, with our music.
Right.
And I think that you being that person, and there's not a lot of other artists out there who are doing this, I think that you could actually be that.
Yeah. It's amazing, because it's like, it feels like, what it really feels like, it's a cat, there's a turn of the clock happening with music. And if you notice who's on the charts now, you have Peabo Bryson. Shout out to Peabo Bryson. Jeffrey Osborne. Shout out to Jeffrey Osborne. You have Freddie Jackson. You have all of the guys, because there is a change. People are hungry to be fed, soul fed musically. You know, at one point in time, music was the source.
Yep.
There was a time when music was the real source, and I think we got away from that being the source. Or if it was so weird. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, it got to be weird, or it got to be so far left. It's like, no. It don't have to be weird. We can buy the Adidas. Let's buy the Adidas. We don't have to buy the cowboy boot. I can wear these Adidas and sing about about love, about, you know, getting together and being together and being able to come together and work through our wrongs and our rights, and when everything is not always peachy cream. Because people think, you know, when you talk about love in this day and time,
Yeah.
you know, the new thing is, if you love somebody, if you know, I don't need you. Everybody needs somebody. A dog need a bone. A frog need a pond. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody needs peanut butter, needs jelly. Like, everybody needs somebody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs somebody. So with that, I figured, I was like, you know, hey man, I don't mind being in love, man. I sing about love. I don't have no problem. I'm cool, so I don't have no problem with that. You know, that's how I felt. I was like, I ain't corny. So if I was corny, then it'd be different. And I'll be like, I'll be trying to fit in, but I'm not trying to fit in. I'm trying to spread my message and because I could probably save somebody's marriage. I could probably save somebody's relationship. I could probably save somebody's life, you know, with these songs that I'm writing. So I'm just trying to do it right, man. I'm just trying to get it done, man.
Saving the world through love.
Come on, baby. Love is the key. Love is the answer.
So I want to transition before we finish up and talk about the business. You know, because one of the conversations we had, which resonated with me, was when you were talking about the business side, and about how important it is as an artist to know your worth, and to present your worth. And there's some stuff that you can't do.
Yeah.
And there's some things that you may do that some people say, well, why are you doing that?
Right.
And I don't want you to go into details. I don't want you to put anybody on blast. But can you just, maybe reshare a little bit of that conversation we had?
Well, you know, with making the transition, you know what I'm saying, it's a hard thing when people are used to seeing you all the time, you know, in a certain light, or if they get used to seeing you a certain way. You know what I mean? It's hard for them to see people that they know transition into something else. You know, it's not hard for them to see Anthony Hamilton transition because they don't know Anthony Hamilton. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So when Anthony Hamilton or Ro James or somebody pops on the scene, somebody that you don't know, it's like, oh man, I'm all over them. But when it's somebody that you know, it's kind of hard to receive it. So you gotta kind of make yourself, you know, non-common a little bit and pull away a little bit in order to be appreciated the way that you really need to be appreciated when it comes to just people that you know and the types of gigs that you do. You know, because of course people want me to come and do their backyard party. Of course they do. Of course they want me to come. I mean, who wouldn't? You know, that's what I was doing. But when I'm not doing that now. I'm trying to do, I could come and do your backyard party, but you're going to get all Showtime songs now. You know what I mean? So now it's a little different. So now, you know, making that transition, sometimes it's hard for people to see. But you know what? I always say, as they say, people that know you are the hardest ones to get to support you. You know what I mean? But it's the people that don't know you that see you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? They begin to see you for the artist that you are. Like, it's like I always tell people, I'm like, yo, I never called myself Show Tyme. You know what I'm saying? I sang for a long time without that name. It was someone else. It was Case that came along and was like, man, your name's Show Tyme, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because he felt like what I was given was worth that, you know what I'm saying, something that was worth it. You know what I mean? He's like, yo, every time you show up, it's Showtime, cuz. You know what I mean? And it worked, and it stuck. So, daily I'm learning daily.
You're finally accepting the praise.
I'm accepting it. I'm learning it daily, man. I'm learning. As every time I go on the internet, I'm seeing something different, and I'm like, wow, like, oh my goodness, now, like, okay, yesterday it was 12 pages, today it's 13 pages full. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bunch of stuff, and just like really making that transition, man, trying to make my city proud. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make my friends proud, trying to make my wife and my son and my kid and my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, just make people proud to be a part of, the growing and the growth of this Show Tyme situation, because everybody's a part of it. You're a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Steve is a part of it. Vinny's a part of it. WIMG as a whole, the whole family is a part of this Show Tyme thing. You know what I mean? And I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
And and that's obvious too. I mean, you've always handled your success in a comfortable, humble way. And it's nice to hear that your story, that you said you're just starting to embrace the idea of, hey, I'm Show Tyme. And I think that says a lot about how much work you've put in and the importance of other people around you who encourage you. For Case to say to you, no, you got to have this name stick. I'd like for you to talk about some of the folks who are supporting. I know you very proudly talk about your family. So why don't you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, shout out to War Media, Guy R.E.A.C.H, who's my partner in this situation. My cousin Steve Smith, who's also my partner in this situation. My partner Ray Kelly over here chilling, man. Ricky Ray in here, man, and my brother Aaron. Of course, my family, my mom and dad. Shout out to Casey and JoJo, who's always being right there, Joe to see, and like all the London radio, the UK Starpoint Radio, all the different radio stations that's just giving love. Ricky Smiley and all TV One, Radio One, just everybody that's just giving this project love, that's giving this project a chance. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody out there that's supporting this, that supports this good music, man, that supports, I talk to a lot of different people from time to time, just, shout out to my boy Jermaine, who's always an ear when I'm doing this, you know what I'm saying, because sometimes you gotta have that common ear, you know what I'm saying, somebody that can say, hey man, that's whack, you shouldn't do that. Hey man, don't do that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause sometimes I want to get on Facebook and be like, oh, such and such and such and such. He's like, no, don't do that, bro. Just, it's okay. Like, it's gonna be cool. Like, you can't say that. You know what I mean? And you gotta have that because it's a balance. You know what I'm saying? A balance between being an artist, you know what I'm saying, and being just regular. You know what I'm saying? And being able to translate like Isaac Hayes, how, to let everybody know, hey man, it's all good. We friends, we family, you know what I'm saying? I'm your brother, you know what I'm saying? And I want people to know that. I want people to know that they can support this music. Church folk can support it. We on WIMG, God bless you.
And I also want to say too, man, before we get out of here, David Tobin.
Yes.
David.
Shout out to David Tobin. Yeah. Oh my goodness, my homie David Tobin.
He's doing some amazing things over in Germany, and he had talked just before you and I spoke and said, I would really like to see you and Show Tyme sit down and talk, and when David speaks,
things happen.
Yeah, so it's like,
we here.
I'm going to call him right now.
Right.
Well, Show Tyme, we got to get out of here now, man. But I know you got share a little bit about what's happening on Friday and then how people can connect with you.
Please, everybody, go to your stores. I mean, I don't care if it ain't there yet. Go there Friday. Tell them you want that Show Tyme Love Truth. They'll deliver it to you to your store. Go to Walmart. Go to Best Buy, Barnes & Nobles, HMV. It's all over the place. Physical copies are coming out on Friday. Friday, August 3rd, right? That's Friday, right? August 3rd, Friday, the album comes out, physical copies. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook at Show Tyme, Tyme, because I have too many friends now, so I can't, be your friend on Facebook per se. But you can follow me and be up to date on all the things, or you can follow me on Instagram at Show Tyme with a Y 2020, SHOWTYME 2020 on Instagram. And hey man, if y'all like good, hey, my bad, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, all of the digital outlets, iTunes, Amazon, all of the digital outlets, go stream it on your Echo, stream it on your Alexa, stream it on your Siri, stream it everywhere. Y'all get these streams up, stream the album, let them know Show Tyme Love Truth, let them know we got support, we out there. Shout out to all the musicians that worked on the album. God bless y'all. Peace.
Show Tyme. There's archives of this will be up on the Trenton 365 website, and in addition to that, as things progress, we'll be able to see more of Show Tyme coming up soon. You've been listening and watching the Trenton 365 show. Have a great night, and stay tuned for segment 2.
You're the only
Welcome back to the Trenton 365 Show. You can send me an email, trenton365show@gmail.com. Follow me on most social media platforms, Trenton365. In segment number 2, I've got Kim Miller in here. And as I said, tonight was just full of living legends. So I got Kim Miller here of Instant Funk fame.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, sir.
God bless. God bless.
So Kim, we're going to jump right into it. You were here a couple, 4 or 5 weeks or so ago, and then I saw you perform at the Battle of the Bands, which you put together, and you had some amazing talent there as well. You've got all these new gigs coming up. You've got some big ambitious projects, etc.
Yes, sir.
Let's run down the list of what you've been up to. I mean, I know from the beginning of the year, the wintertime, you said, hey, it's going to be busy. I got all these things going down. So let's talk about that.
Okay, well, like I said, you had mentioned the Battle of the Bands, which was kind of our kickoff of the things that we're trying to do and trying to put together for the city, basically, and to try to help the kids and to give the kids something that can inspire them to do other things, and then from that point. We moved on, like I was telling you earlier, that we're doing this thing over in Philly for the Black Writers Museum, and that's going to be August the 18th over in Vernon Park, Germantown Avenue in Philly, and that's going to be headlining Lenny Williams and Instant Funk, and it's another bass player. I can't recall his name now, but. Other than that, we're definitely writing. Okay, I don't want to give too much away about that of what we're doing, but it is some funky stuff, And we're working with a gentleman down out of Asbury Parkway, down in the Bruce Springsteen camp. Matter of fact, we had a couple meetings with Bruce too. So we got some serious things about to happen. And with the group GQ, like I was telling you, we're basically going to try to do a little kickoff from the segment that used to come on television, Daryl's House. So we're going to be on those lines, live streaming. I do believe that's what you call it, live streaming, and doing some live shows right out of this thing and streaming it live, and we're going to collaborate with GQ on writing some things together. And also, my wife and I, she's a big part of what I do, and she handles a lot of the business, so I can be free to do what I do. We're working with the conservatory music with the Ivies, Jackie Ivy. We're really that project right there is something that we hold dear to our hearts because we really want to do this. We have it laid out of what we want to do. Now it's about putting it to motion and getting it done. We actually want to try to do it right on the street, right in front of her facility, where it's easy for people to get to. You don't have to travel far, but and we do want to involve the kids in this show. I mean, actually get the younger kids, like the poets, the singers, the instrument players, like the singers. I think I said that already, but and we want to actually put them inside of what we're doing, so that and those that really don't know what they want to do, if they see things, because when I was a kid, that's what inspired me.
No, I want you to talk about that a bit more because the musicians who I spent time with, they all talk about how they were encouraged when they were younger. Someone in the family played music all the time, or they got introduced to it at church or at school, and someone was there encouraging them, practice, and come join us. Can you talk about your early experiences?
Well, did I ever tell you the story about me and what's his name, honey, Wilson Pickett?
No.
No? Okay. Well,
Here we go.
well, this is what inspired me. You know, this was I'm not gonna tell you how long ago it was. You know, but anyway, I was a young kid and I was riding my bike. I think I was down this way, down on South Broad Street, and I was leaving the skating arena, and I had my bike. I was going back home. At that time, Trenton had the Capitol Theater, we had the Mayfair, we had the Lincoln and the Trent, all was downtown. So I'm coming up Broad Street, and it just so happens that Wilson Pickett was performing at the Capitol Theater right there between Front Street and State Street there, right next to where like Kresge's was. Anyway, I'm riding by, and I see this long limousine pull up, right? So I'm starting to pedal slower and slower. I don't even know who it is yet, but I look at the marquee and I see live Wilson Pickett tonight. And by that time, I'm skidding on my brakes because I'm stopping, and I'm right by his doorway, and the door opens up, and he steps out with this mink coat on and everything like that, and my eyes just pop open, and my mouth just drops, and he says, "Hi, son, you coming to the show tonight?" I couldn't even talk. I was like stuttering and everything, you know. And he said, here's a couple of tickets. Why don't you get your mother to bring you back to the show tonight? Man, and he signed the tickets. He did everything, man. And he walked on the side, man. I rode that bike home so fast, man, trying to get my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, somebody to come back and take me to the show. So I think my grandfather did. So we go back to the show, and I'm sitting out there, and the show starts. You know, he's got the live horns, he's got the Mustang Sally stuff going on, man. He comes out, the women is hollering and screaming, man. And all I saw was, that's me up there. That's what I want to do.
For the rest of my
That's
life.
for the rest of my life. That's what I want to do. And that's what started me. I mean, that was my first inspiration to want to play. You know, and then from those days, you know, I formed a little band and they're like Meditators, and we got pretty good pretty fast. You know, I mean, well, we thought that we were good, you know, but what was so great about the Meditators is that our showmanship was so incredible. I mean, we used to do crazy stuff, just like on like the Battle of the Bands, like you see me put on that wig or whatever. We used to do that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, Timmy would be playing, and we leave the stage, and we go backstage. Man, I used to wear clear, transparent pants, and I had these psychedelic Superman like drawers on underneath, bare chested with this psychedelic afro wig, man. You know, that's the kind of stuff that we used to do, and we would win every single Battle of the Bands. I don't know if it was for our music or for our theatrical stuff, man, but that's what we did, you know. And then from those times, but even in the middle of those times, Bucky Leggett, he used to bring in the Beat the Heat concerts, you know. And this was a big influence on us too, because Bucky would bring that show right in the neighborhood. Sometimes it would be on Martin Luther King Boulevard. At that time, it was Princeton Avenue. We would set up the stage between Ingham and like Southern Street. I mean, right in the hood. And he would bring in top names: the Intruders, the Delphonics, the Interpretations. You know, which is another group that inspired me a lot, you know. And this is what we as the kids, because we would go there as a band and we would look sort of like how Michael Jackson used to study his tapes. He used to be in front of television looking at James Brown, Jackie Wilson, and standing in front of television doing his moves right along with him. Well, that's what we did, and that's what I did. I don't know about the rest of them, but that's what I was doing. And so those are the influences. Other people who are in the industry and that really don't even know that you're influencing somebody, some young kid is looking at you. So if we can get that back, especially inside of this city, if we can, I think that we can make a big change.
Great. I got Kim Miller in the studio in the second part of tonight's show. Kim, instant funk fame, but we're going to be talking about a lot of things, as he just alluded to in the previous statement, about his influence, meeting Wilson Pickett here in Trenton, and then also that it's important for us to consider how we can do that to the next generation. You're listening and watching the Trenton 365 show, and we'll be back after a short break.
Need a truck to move? Let Justin's Rental of Selman's BP save the day. Justin's has the right trucks for all commercial and residential moves. Justin's has the moving supplies and boxes available. Justin's Rental at Selman's BP has everything you need for your move at affordable prices, featuring the best in pickup trucks, 10 and 15-foot box trucks and vans. Justin's Rental at Selman's BP is located at 2596 South Broad Street, across from the McDonald's in Hamilton. For your rental truck needs, call 609-888-3327. That's 609-888-3327. Justin's Rental at Selman's BP. If you are moving, we have the trucks to meet your moving needs.
And I always like to give a big shout out. Well, first of all, welcome back to the Trenton 365 show. Send me an email, trenton365show@gmail.com, and post your events to the Trenton 365 community calendar page on Facebook. I always like to give a shout out to the people who are behind the scenes of the program, like Vinnie Stansberry, DJ Say What? Steve Cook. I mean, because they're the ones who actually really keep this running. And also the conversations that we have off the air are also awesome as well. And I was telling Kim, and also with Show Tyme, it's the people who I interview that make what I do easy, because I get a chance to ask questions of people who I want to hear what they have to say. So it makes my job really easy to be able to do this. Just before the break, I mean, you were talking a bit about the importance. Well, you told the story about meeting Wilson Pickett, and a couple things resonated with me with that, is because at that time Trenton had all those different venues where you could see live music, and it wasn't just locals; it was national and international touring professional musicians like Wilson Pickett and James Brown and Liberace and all those folks came through here. But you had said something about how that made an impression on you as a young person, and you said, that's what I want to do. I want to do that for the rest of my life. Right. And now you're talking about providing that opportunity for the young people who are here today. Just can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, because see what motivates and gives a person their personality as far as an entertainer or whatever it is to have a goal, to have that goal set, and to see yourself at a level that presently you're not there yet, but you're going to do everything and strive to get there. Okay, and what I kind of mean by that is what's going on today is a lot of everybody wants instant success, instant gratification. They just want it now. And that's not how it's done. You have to put the work in. You have to get under some mentors. This is why in producing music, excuse me, and producing music, that there's an artist and there's a producer that's in that studio. Okay? Yeah, the artist is talented. Yeah, you can sing, you can play, you can write songs, you can do that. But you don't know what your best is. Okay, because the artist thinks everything that he does is the best. Okay, which may be pretty good, but you may write 20 songs, and out of 20 songs, only one of them is a hit. Okay, all of them sound good, but only one of them is a hit. So that's the purpose of that producer that's sitting in that control room while you're out there playing a song or singing a song, and stopping and starting you, because they hear what your best is. They hear what's not so good. So by the end of your project, all you have is the best of who you are. You know, and then when you hear it back, you sit out and you say, yeah, that sounds great. You know, it's your talent, but the mentors are what sets you up to be successful. So when you have a goal or have a dream, rather it's singing, playing, like dancing or whatever, don't settle for the quick success, because the quick success does not last long. You know, you have to be able to have longevity, and how you get longevity is to set your goals. Don't set them too high to where you get discouraged because you ain't getting there. Set a little small goal. Work hard to achieve that. Once you get there, set another goal. Because I'll tell you, one of the things that I did, and I don't know if these guys in the bands I used to be in are listening now, but I love you. But what I did was, I did just that. From the time I saw Wilson Pickett downtown, I said, I want to do that. I want to get in the band that's going to be in demand. I did that with the Meditators. The Meditators was rocking and rolling. It got to a point, Jock, to where I saw that it couldn't go no higher. I love you all, but I had to step up higher. And that's when I went with the T and J's. Okay? Here's a group of guys who are 10 years older than me, you know, and I was under their wing. I mean, heck, we were playing in clubs, man, where I had to sit in the office because I was too young to be in the club. You know, I was 12. Yeah, I was 12. You know, but God gifted me with a talent at an early age that they wanted me to play. You know, and from that, we had a manager like Jackie Lee, Roy Ellis. You know, and you know, a lot of people say a lot of bad things like about him, but what I will say good about him was that he had us on a regiment that all we could do was get better, because we would rehearse from 9 in the morning. He let us go to lunch at 12. We come back, we rehearse till 9 o'clock in the evening every single day. That our show was so incredibly tight. I mean, it was like second nature, you know. So if you set those kind of goals for yourself, you know, that you'll always be inspired, because we as musicians, as singers, and all entertainers, we never stop learning. We never stop learning. Even us sitting here today, as young as I am, I still learn. I learn every single day, and what's another good key to success is to be a good listener. Okay, don't always think you know it all, because you don't. Just listen. Just listen. You know that old saying that they say you chew the meat and spit out the bones? You know, well, that's what you do, because people talk, and you may know a lot of what somebody's saying already, but there's something in that conversation that you didn't know. Mm-hmm. So if you just be patient and just listen and set your goals, you can achieve it.
Mm-hmm. You know, I want you to talk a bit more about what you have coming down the pike. I know you've got the gig August 18th in Philadelphia at the Black Writers Museum in Germantown, and I'm going to try my best to get over there to see you, because I enjoy seeing you perform. It's joyful to me.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. In addition to that, I know that you're working with Jackie and Sterick over at the Conservatory Mansion, and you've said on several occasions the importance of teaching and sharing the knowledge that you have with young people. What are some of the things that you have coming down the pike with that? I know you're talking about an event, but if you could elaborate on that, it'd be nice.
Yeah, well, actually, we're basically in the put together stage of it, but basically what we want to do, because I don't want to give it all away.
Okay,
So,
all right.
See, that's what I'm trying not to do. But I can tell you this, that we're looking for children of all ages to get involved in this. We actually want to make them a part of the event, a part of the show, doing like various things. We have singers, we have dancers, we have drum majors, we got woodwind players. We have the whole thing, which we're going to integrate it all together and put on this presentation. Okay. Now the key to that is that, like I said, Carol and I, we have this strong desire to help the kids. I mean, that's the bottom line. And kids seem to pay attention to what other kids are doing. So if they see their friends or their classmates up here on a stage that they never knew that their classmates did, that inspires them to want to do something other than what they've been used to. There's so much violence in our city that we have to reach out and try to do something. Now, this is what I can give. God gave me the gift of like teaching, putting things together, getting people excited about doing things, and this is what I want to do. So right now we're trying to get the like funding and things together to do this. But basically, see, it's hard for me to go a lot further without giving it away.
That's fine. And I'm good with that. And I apologize for taking you to the line. Well,
Jackie had killed me.
Well, I want to tell you, just as I mentioned to you before, if there's anything that I can do to help you out with your efforts, you know that you've got my support.
There is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm coming to get you.
That's all right. That's all right. Because I think the whole point of having this access and privilege that we do, and the God-given talent, and to know that, is for us to give it away.
Right.
Is for us to share that.
Right.
I come from a big family, so I often find myself thinking about all the people who, in some aspect, did something in my life. Thanks, Steve. And how important it is for me to make sure that what was given and shown to me, that I pass it on.
Right.
And I think that we, in America, I think there was a period of time where I think a lot of people forgot that.
Yes.
And we're just taking and taking and taking.
Yes.
And I think that there's more of a groundswell of more people saying, hey, no, this isn't what got me here, so there's no reason for me to continue to do this. And we've just got a couple of minutes left. Anything you'd like to finish up with?
Yeah, I'd like to say this first of all, that all that I have done and all that I am would not be without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I want to say that first and foremost. Excuse me, and I like to give a big shout out to my mother, who without her, that of course I wouldn't be who I am, but she played a big part of all the musical stuff by letting us rehearse in her house, like without asking us to pay for the electric bill, and when the neighbors knocking on the door, you guys are too loud, and she said, no, leave them alone, leave them, so I just want to say that, but more than anything, I want to say that my wife, Carol, is a great inspiration to me and to how we do things and why we're doing things. She keeps me spiritually motivated when thing, because that's how we live, And if you keep God first and foremost, that you can achieve all things. And I just want to say that.
Thank
God
you very
bless
much.
you all.
Yeah, and that's a perfect mic drop. Kim Miller of Instant Funk fame, and again, I'm supportive of you. I look forward to what you're going to be doing in the very near future and in the long-term future as well. Thank you.
God bless you.
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Alrighty.
You've been listening and watching the Trenton 365 show, heard Tuesday nights from approximately 8 to 9. You can send me an email, trenton365show@gmail.com. And you can also follow me through social media platforms and also through trenton365.com, where you can listen to archives of this show and my others. Have a great night.